if they didn't, have some kind of a control. But the other way to look at these urges as they arise and these things as they arise is to go back and discover where they came from. It can be very healing. So let's do that right now. So if you want to get comfortable, I'll guide you through this meditation. Okay. Make yourself comfortable. Allow the eyes to close. And gently ask yourself, how do I feel? Notice what's happening within the immediate environment, such as sounds and temperature. Everything around you. Just notice everything around you while keeping the eyes closed. And take a moment and thank yourself for doing this practice, for taking the time to do it, and for realizing the importance of it. Bring your attention to the breath. And just sit in silence for a few moments. Enjoy it. Enjoy a few moments of this, just connecting with the breath. For the moment, there's nothing else to do. Just notice the inhalation and the exhalation of the breath. By doing this practice, and by being here physically, you're gently acknowledging that there is an addiction that is affecting your life in some way. Understand that you are, in this moment, here to enable yourself to relinquish this addiction. Give yourself permission to do this practice and to do this work to eliminate this addiction. Know that this substance or activity is something that is clung to, something that causes grasping in many areas of your life, and something that is seen as a negative attachment, a stickiness for you that is very likely noticed by others. And if kept secret and known only to you, that it still deeply affects all your relationships with others in your life. Now take a few moments and picture your life as it is now, as it is today, as it is in this moment. Take a few moments and visualize or imagine your life 5 years from now. Picture your life 5 years from now in the future with the current situation and the current relationship that you have with this addiction. This addiction that is currently affecting your life. How do you feel 5 years from now carrying this addiction with you all those days, all those years, all those months. The year is 2019 and you're still addicted. Now take a moment and visualize or imagine yourself and how you will be socially, financially, energetically, and professionally with this addiction if you're carrying it for 10 more years in your life. How do you feel? How do you look? How well do you function in the world? The year is 2024. Do you still exist? Or was there an addiction-related problem? Silently ask yourself if this is what you want and are prepared to make a change for now. Now allow yourself to come back into the present moment and bring your attention to the breath. Follow the breath, stilling the mind, relaxing the body, being very present. Without any judgment or any kind of inner commentary. Take a moment to establish your familiarity with this addictive habit, this pattern in your life that you would like to change. Step back into the past and imagine a time when you first encountered this substance or activity that has become a repeated pattern in your life. See it clearly, or imagine it in any way that helps relive this experience. How old are you? Where are you? Who is with you? What clothes are you wearing? What are you hearing? What are the fine details of this moment? Sit in stillness and imagine, visualize, sensualize the experience. Notice what steps are being taken by you toward using the substance or doing this activity. Notice the fine details involved. What state you are experiencing. Can you notice innocence, curiosity, adventure, excitement, peer pressure? Are you going along with what the others are doing? Notice all of the fine details. Just take your time and see this clearly, noticing everything. Can you see how your life was at this time? Before there was an interest or a familiarity of any kind with this substance or activity. time before cravings, a time before any urges to be involved in any of this. A mind that is totally disengaged from life-changing substance, or this life-changing activity. This is a time before the mind and body became conditioned to desire this substance or to do this activity. So this moment is a life-altering moment, altering the lives of many. This is the moment and the time in your life before the addiction. Now from this imagined moment, move forward in time a little bit. Noticing how you became more involved with the substance or activity that is now such a focal point in your world. See how it all started out very slowly, very innocently, and then gaining momentum until there's a liking, a desire for a state change, and eventually the need for this in such a way that perhaps you feel your life or your happiness depends on it. A mental and possibly a physical way of feeling complete by using the substance or by doing this particular activity. Now keep moving ahead to all the different experiences that have come about because of this addiction. See all the losses, all the despair and pain that it has caused. Notice the financial and social difficulties. Look very deep into your personal relationships and how it affected them, possibly without you even considering it being a part of the addiction. Ask yourself, why did some of the past relationships in your life not work out the way you wanted them to? And move slowly through time, imagining how different your life may have been and can be without this addiction. See how your life up to this point can be seen as an incredible learning experience for you and others. Tell yourself to take all of these experiences and use them for growth. Growth in your present experiences and how they can shape your future. See these past experiences, all of your experiences as being an addict, as a tool in your life and a guide in how you want and will have your life to be now. As a non-addict and into the future being addict-free. Once again, project yourself 5 years into the future as a fully recovered, non-addictive person. How do you look? How do you feel? How do you interact with others? Now see yourself as an addiction-free individual 10 years from now. How has your life changed? How do you see yourself? See yourself living your life to its fullest extent, being addiction-free. Knowing and experiencing life, knowing and seeing the future as an addict, knowing and experiencing the causes and conditions that brought this addiction into your life, and knowing and experiencing the knowledge that you have gained by seeing this, and imagining your past, present, and future as being addiction-free. Now see yourself taking this into the world from now on. From this moment forward, consider yourself addiction-free as a person that fully understands his or her repeated patterns in life and how to work with them to your advantage. See yourself as someone who can spot repeated patterns and determine immediately whether they are beneficial or negative for your future growth. Take this moment and see yourself completely addiction-free, completely recovered. This being a new chapter in your life from this moment forward. See this change being made at this moment. Knowing that to empower and strengthen your freedom from addiction, you can always return to this moment of limitless growth, limitless strength. Now that you now live the life that you have chosen to live, and know that that life starts right now. Thank you. Well, first of all, make sure that we're very present in the moment, understanding how you feel. I asked you to really kind of thank yourself for being here. I was addressing, I should have said this before we started, but I'm addressing addicts when I read this. I'm not pointing that we're all addicts, but in some ways we are. We have these things in life that we kind of get sticky for us. But we were very present, and I had you go into the future and see how, especially if you're addressing somebody that has a really hardcore addiction, how they would look in 5 years, how they would look in 10 years. And many of these people probably not even see themselves. They can't imagine how they would be in 5 years, let alone 10 years, if they carried this addiction with them. Because they know, people know that there's something not right there. And then I took you to the whatever, years ahead when this addiction or this activity, because I put activity in the meditation because it could be like a gambling, thing or something like that. And as I mentioned last week, the fastest growing addiction is pornography. That's an activity. So, had you go into the future and see, or in the past, I should say, into the past and see when that started, and kind of get an idea of how you lived and how everything was okay before that started, before the addiction thing came upon. And then all of a sudden you get interested in something. Was there peer pressure? What was happening? Were you real young? I know a guy that was walking down the street, somebody flipped a cigarette out of his car, and he picked it up and wanted to know what it was like to smoke it. He was 8 years old, and he's been smoking ever since.
Oh my God.
So what happened when that addiction started? What was the thought process? And usually people can remember when they're introduced to cocaine or alcohol or whatever it is. I remember my first Ham's beer. My dad opened up a can of beer, and he took a little Dixie cup like this, and he poured some in there. It was just foam. That's all it was foam. But I remember tasting that, and I thought it was great. And I think he was surprised, that I liked it. Just a little. He probably thought I was gonna, how adults are. They give it to a little kid, and they're looking at him. He's probably going, oh, he likes it. Oh, darn. It's going to be trouble. But we look at the addiction, and then we see that growth, how it's affecting us through life. And then we go through the present moment and see ourselves in the future. After washing that addiction away, basically. So I kind of skipped a part there. Where we see ourselves, we bring ourselves in the present moment when we have set that addiction aside, and then we go into the future again and see ourselves completely addiction-free. With some, pretty solid affirmations in there that we see ourselves as an addiction-free person, strong and healthy, and everything going for us in life. So that's a different kind of meditation than that we might find in as far as a mindfulness-based type of meditation. Could both of them have healing qualities to them.